today we're here with Sandy Mangat, the head of marketing at Pocus, a product-led sales platform that turns product data into revenue. She's also an expert in all things product-led growth and helps run the Pocus PLG Slack community. Sandy, thanks for joining us today.
I've been in the software space probably for the last, 6-7 years. Prior to that, I was doing marketing for mining and metals, which is an interesting transition. And I've held a bunch of different roles, mostly in product marketing, I would say, in B2B SaaS companies. I had a brief stint working for more of a B2C kind of like very product-led focused consumer productivity tool, running growth and marketing. And now I'm here at Pocus as the head of marketing but we're a startup, so I've got my tentacles and everything.
What is a recent innovative marketing campaign that you have conducted?
In my last role, because I was both on the growth and the marketing side, a lot of the campaigns that I ran kind of like spanned both in product and marketing channels. So one of the ones that we worked on was kind of figuring out our onboarding flow and trying to pair both our marketing education emails and sequences with what was happening inside the product. So that was like a really gigantic task of trying to map out all those like aha moments inside the user journey and really trying to not overload the user with a lot of information all at once. So instead of having a sequential onboarding flow where things happen in sequence in the product, and then there's a corresponding sequence in the emails, we actually did everything driven by product behavior, which is actually, what Pocus helps you do as well. And what we're trying to build with Pocus is trying to drive more actions based on product behavior and what's actually happening in the product, rather than trying to kind of fit your users into a journey that you have prescribed for them. So there was like a lot of things that went well with that. I think we got better engagement on those in-app messages, as well as the email open rates were a lot higher. But there were a lot of challenges as well, just because getting that product data into my marketing tools in a way that was like scalable and helpful was extremely hard. So that was like the big challenge that we never quite overcame. Like there was still so much manual work that went into fueling that, but the results were so good that we were okay kind of spending all that upfront time cleaning the data, migrating that data into our marketing automation tools.
How you discovered those aha moments to use in your onboarding flow?
A few different things. I would say like there's the qualitative piece and then there's the quantitative piece. So quantitative, we were looking at our product analytics and trying to see like where were there big drop-offs in our existing flow, to see kind of like where are the friction points, and then conversely looking at like if someone did X, were they more likely to be retained 30 days later? So trying to find correlations between feature adoption and retention. So that was, I would say, the quantitative piece. On the qualitative side, it was a lot of user research. We asked a lot of questions about what are, the things that you love about this product? What are the aspects that kind of had that click for you? Like you understood it, you got it, and now you know how to utilize it. It was just a lot of discussion, I would say. So running a lot of user research, interviews, doing some usability testing as well. So actually going on Zoom and watching our users as they went through the product and kind of, noticing, oh, someone did this thing and then they kind of had this moment of delight. I wonder if that could be one of those aha moments. But I would say like the key discovery was definitely seeing the correlation between, this was a content management product, and seeing the correlation between number of like pieces of content or documents uploaded and their likelihood to retain. Like the correlation was undeniable there. So we knew that the faster we could get them to upload as many of their documents as possible, the more likelihood that they would stick around and the more delight that they would experience from the product. So then our focus, like that completely changed the lens with which we saw our onboarding flow, because then it became not about telling them about every single feature. It became about trying to drive them to that core aha moment that really kind of like then afterwards you can layer in more complexity and tell them about more features. But until they get to that moment, it's like not useful to tell them about all those other things. It's a series of hurdles, right? Like I think you can't get to the next hurdle until you mount the first one, and figuring out what that first hurdle is for your product. Like what is that first big hump that your user has to go through? Then once you figure that out, I think everything else downstream is a lot easier.
What is one marketing mindset or strategy you're really excited about going into 2022?
Actually, we just did some of our 2022 planning, and a big focus for us is definitely getting, like from a marketing perspective, even closer to the customers and really understanding kind of what they're trying to achieve, what are the problems, like, and going beyond just how we can serve them from a product perspective, but like what we're doing with our community is trying to also build out the education and the kind of like sense of belonging. Like how do we fuel all of that as well? That's really top of mind for me, is just getting closer to customers and really understanding their needs. And then of course, in true PLG fashion, we utilize all of that information to feed it back into making our product like amazing. And then that information also fuels how we make our product like extremely self-serve and all those great PLG things. But I think it starts for us and for me specifically in 2022, it's like all about really understanding customers and understanding their needs.
On the flip side of that, what's maybe one mindset or strategy that you're ready to see end this year?
Quite fatigued from like all of these like LinkedIn tactics, like LinkedIn hacks of let's do a poll for everything. I feel like for a while, my LinkedIn feed was just like marketers and salespeople doing polls, trying to get engagement with their audiences. And I think that was abused. I'm going to say it. That's my hot take. We were abusing the LinkedIn polls, and I count myself as guilty as well. So I'm ready to retire it.
Some current top tools in your marketing tech stack that you're just obsessed with right now?
Consistent tool for probably the last like year, I would say, that I've been loving using, and it's copy.ai. So it's an AI-based copywriting tool powered by GPT-3, which is like, if you're an AI nerd, you will know, but it's a language model. So it helps generate copy for you. So all I have to do is type out a few things and it will generate some, headline copy or like social captions. And I don't use it to actually, I'm not trying to replace myself with copy.ai. Your job is super content focused. For me, I get writer's block. I get stuck sometimes. And I found copy.ai is like the perfect antidote to getting unstuck. So it gives me some ideas. It like kind of like gets the wheels turning, and then I can then go and do my thing. So I find it really, really helpful. There are some features in copy.ai that I do completely trust, and that's sentence shorteners. Like, as you can probably tell, I'm a little long-winded sometimes. And so is my writing. And so the sentence shortening tool is fantastic.
Give you a chance to promote your services, maybe give a plug for anyone looking to go PLG.
If you're looking to go PLG, or you're thinking about how to layer in sales to complement PLG, I would definitely recommend joining the Pocus product-led sales community, where we're really building this like very organic, like kind of grassroots community. And we're all just here to help each other. Because I think the thing that we've learned over the last several months is, because this category is emerging, there are no best practices, there are no established playbooks. A lot of the knowledge lives in the people's brains who are actually executing and practicing all of these things. So the Pocus product-led sales community just allows you to come and connect with those folks. We host AMAs, we have workshops, and there's always a lively discussion happening in Slack. So you can come ask your questions. So that's one thing. I would like to plug the product-led sales community. And then, if you're interested in trying to leverage all of that product data that you have and marry it with all of that customer data that lives in Salesforce, and you want to enable your sales team to have more personalized, timely research, kind of like my onboarding example, I'd recommend you check out our product, Pocus, and how it can help turn your best users that come in through your various self-serve channels and convert them into high-value customers by giving your sales team that prioritized information about who are those hot leads, who are those best accounts that are ready to go after, and also giving you insights into why you should be going after them so that you can have that more personalized and timely outreach. If you're interested in Pocus, you can sign up for our waitlist at www.pocus.com.